All right. See, I say your names real good. Oh. Oh. All right.
I'm Puneet.
My name is Sachin Vishnoy.
All right. Say the last name again.
Vishnoy, Sachin Vishnoy, Sachin, and Vishnoy is Vishnoi.
Okay.
Puneet Bajaj.
Oh man, that's awesome. Okay.
You got the last name back.
I say it again one more time.
Bajaj.
Puneet Bajaj.
You got it.
All right. And this is Emilio. And I'm Pastor T. It's been a great night. You introduce yourself and tell us what you're from and what your religious belief system is.
Hey, I'm Puneet. I'm from India. I just moved to the States a year ago, and for my religious belief, I'm sitting on the fence.
Okay. And what you mean by you sitting on the fence?
I believe in God. I know there's someone there's someone superior than me, and I know He's there for me. But at the same time, I'm sinning every day.
Okay.
And I'm doing things that I shouldn't done, and I'm trying to repent for the things that I've done in the past, and I'm trying to improve. But it's still like I'm not there yet.
So, based on what you believe, what do you think the afterlife is like?
Afterlife is like depends on what you did in
Okay.
your life. If you did good, you'll get heaven. If you did bad, you'll probably go to hell.
Okay.
Or whatever.
Whatever is bad after this.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Emilio been just kind of asking you guys questions. Let me give you 4 questions that I want you to answer as best as you can. I think these 4 questions every human being asks on the face of the planet. Whether you're in America, India, China, Nepal, Korea, 4 questions that people are going to ask. But then I want to answer those 4 questions with a biblical worldview and see, even if you don't believe it, just see if it makes sense. So, but I'm going to start off by asking you these questions, and I'm going to let Emilio ask you the first question.
Okay, so what is our origin, right? Like, how did we all come into existence?
Like as in human species in general, God made us.
Okay?
Yeah, I believe in evolution. Like,
Evolution?
yeah.
All right.
I mean, evolution just doesn't make sense to me. Like, how can an ape become a human over time? We were intentionally made by God. And we were made to do His things.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I gave you a bag of Legos, right, and I told you to throw them on the ground, how many times would you have to throw it on the ground before it eventually forms some sort of structure? Like, what are the chances of that happening?
I mean, it can happen in the first time, or it can happen in like 100th time.
So let's say like I give you a bag of Legos. I'm like, throw them on the ground until they form a car out of Legos. How many times do you think it would take? Like, what is the chances of that happening?
Close
Zero.
to 0.
Close to zero, right? Close to zero, right?
You know the reason why he's asking you that question? You know the reason why he's asking you that question is because if I walked into this building and I say, hey, Sachin, you're not going to believe this, but this building just created itself. You wouldn't believe me because buildings don't create themselves. And even though you don't see the builder, you know that the builder exists because the building exists. Well, how random can this world be in the exact spot for existence without some type of person ordering everything?
I mean, like, if you want to put it that way, I can say that there are some species higher intelligence than us. Like, they made the earth, like, they are far advanced than we can even think of. Like, we can't even, our intelligence can't even be comparable to them. They created us, like, they left us, and their time space is different.
So,
they are living different. I mean,
so aliens.
kind of, like, thing is, I also believe, like, maybe, like, someday alien came to earth and, like, miracles happened and people termed as them God, and they left, and we still worship them, and they, because their time space is different. For example, like on earth it could be like 1 million years. For them it's nothing, it's a span of time, and they are coming back. So maybe God is the alien. We just, like, the alien did that thing, and because they are like higher intelligence than us, like, I just believe in possibilities.
Possibility.
I don't believe in like supernatural stuff.
Gotcha. All right. Draw a big old. Can I get your hands? Yeah. So, Sachin, I want you to draw a big old circle on that paper. Big old circle. And I want all that circle to represent everything is to know about everything. Aliens, space, whatever, deepest, darkest jungles. That represents everything it is to know about God. I want you to start filling in that circle, and I want you to fill in how much you think you know about everything about life. From the history of the world, start filling in a circle. I know this much about everything it is to know about everything. Start scribbling it in. All right. Do you know this much? Just tell me when to stop. How much you feel like you know about?
I mean, not even less than that.
I agree.
Less
So,
than that.
so is it possible that God exists in what you don't know?
Yeah, as I said,
It's a possibility.
as I said, like aliens can be God, like we can worship
Right.
them totally. That's a possibility. Like people on earth believes in different religion. Like
Right.
with time, religion changes. Like take for example, like Egyptian pharaohs.
Yeah.
That was a whole different
Sure.
thing. Jesus came around like 2000 years ago.
Yeah.
Some other religion can come around like maybe for example 10,000 years after
Right.
some new religion can be created.
You can't really say God doesn't exist because you don't know everything there is to know about everything. So you may have to say you're agnostic. You just don't know, but you can't just say God doesn't exist because that's an absolute statement.
No, the
What you think?
the current definition of God, like the Almighty, like He can do
Okay.
anything. I don't believe in that. God doesn't exist. But yeah,
Okay.
creatures
Okay.
with higher intelligence than us, like more powerful than us,
Okay.
may exist.
But not God.
Yeah, not the Almighty. Like
Not the Almighty.
nobody is Almighty. No one
Okay.
can be Almighty. That doesn't make sense to me.
Okay. Let's go to the next question.
What's our purpose? Like, what's our purpose here on the earth?
If God created us, what do you think our purpose is?
I don't know about that yet, but I know there's a purpose, and
Okay.
there's a reason why I'm sitting with you.
That's
Like,
it.
and I know why I came to like existence, or
Yeah.
in America or anywhere.
You know something is right. So based on what you believe, Sachin, what do you think? Why do you think you exist in? What's your purpose?
I mean, I was just born out of luck. I could have been not born.
Yeah.
I could have been not existing.
Yeah.
And as far as like meeting you,
Yeah.
I think if I wouldn't have come here this Tuesday, I
Yeah.
couldn't have met you. It was a random luck.
So you're
Like-
basically
Like I was like helping with the chairs and
Yeah.
I met you.
Yeah.
If I wasn't doing that, I was someplace, I wouldn't have met you.
That's right.
So it's just a random luck for me.
so you are a random accident.
I just believe in randomness of
Yeah.
things.
So you just a random accident, and you spontaneously busted into history, and you're gonna go out of history as if you was just a random accident.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's fair. All right.
I may not
Yes.
be like, I may not be one of the greatest persons who's gonna be remembered in future. Maybe people will forget me after I die.
Yeah.
But I am doing something, and I'm
Yeah.
grateful for whatever I'm doing.
Yeah. I'm so glad we put you in. All right. So the next question is,
Why is the world broken?
based on your explanation, why is the world so messed up? How can you explain why the world is so screwed up?
I can go first.
You want to go first? All right, let's go first.
The thing is, like, we as a human species, we prefer to live in group. Like, that's the only reason we have survived so far.
Group.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in that group, there has to be one leader, because without a group leader, a group cannot exist in the first place itself.
Okay.
And with time, like, group became larger, and every leader has a different opinion, I would say.
Yeah.
And I would say, like, not every leader is a great leader, but at the same time, not every leader is a good leader. He or she, like, I am not sexist. He or she, he or she may have an opinion or a thought process, which he or she like forcefully wants to implement to everyone.
Okay.
Like right now, I believe, as far as me, we are the most intelligible species.
Okay.
So we control the world. We determine how the world will be
Gotcha.
in future and on all. So it's because of few people that like controls the whole
Yeah.
world.
So
The
are
world
those,
is broken.
so how do you describe those people? Are they good? Are they bad? Are they just
It depends. Like, for example, take the example of hunger. If I am born rich, I have lived a lavish life. I would support like elimination of hunger, but I don't know the essence of it until I have lived. Like I don't know what hunger is.
until you
So that leader may try to help like to eliminate hunger,
Yeah.
but he cannot truly eliminate hunger because he doesn't know, like he doesn't care that much for the hunger. He just wants to give his like
Yeah. Is there such thing as truth to you? Is there any such thing as truth?
Truth, I would say, kinda for me something is like ethical or non-ethical, and ethical depends on like different culture and different
Okay.
people. So yeah, for me, truth, that that is not like, if you go to like philosophical meaning of it, there's nothing is truth.
Nothing
It's
true.
just a opinion.
Yeah.
Something might be true for you, something might not be true for me.
Yeah.
Example, like
Yeah.
you guys believe in that God exists. Like
Yeah.
for him, like God is different. For you, God is different. But for me, God doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But I can't say like you are false people. You are saying wrong things. I can't say that. That's rude, I would say.
So we don't even know what's true.
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
it's just an opinion, I would say.
Just opinion.
So, like, for example, let's say somebody was like, man, gravity doesn't exist.
Gravity, yeah.
Right, let's say that they said gravity doesn't exist. So, would it be fair to say, oh, yeah, what they're saying, like, is truth to them, right? Because the reality is, it's not the truth, right? We can test gravity like 100 times and it would always come back true. So, it's absolute truth, right? So, if somebody comes up and says gravity doesn't exist, would you say that that's true?
I wouldn't like. That's because I had from my birth, like not from my birth, but when I had like
Yep.
things like I can understand.
Right.
From that point, I was told that gravity exists. If I was born before 1500, gravity would have been existing, but I just didn't knew of it.
Okay.
Or there might be some things beyond gravity that is
Yeah.
happening right now, but we just don't know right now. We just term all the thing as one thing, gravity.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the thing I say. There's nothing like truth. There's just facts and different opinions, I would say.
Well, let's go to the last question. The last question is,
What's the fix? If the world's broken, how do we fix it?
I don't have an answer to that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
that's okay.
You
That's
can-
okay.
you can-
All right.
Because I'm still figuring out a lot of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. That's a great answer. That's a great answer. So, world is broken.
Yeah, for me,
How do you fix it?
it could be a harsh answer, but it's just my thinking.
It's your thing.
I think world couldn't be fixed. It could never
Yeah.
be fixed because
Yeah.
let's say like all people become good. Like
Yeah.
everyone is good. Everyone is doing the job. Everyone is like
Yeah.
doing the right stuff. Like whatever the right thing is, like from a central point of view, like everyone agree on one thing and
Yeah.
all are doing their part. But it can't
Can't
be
be
forever.
fixed. So,
It can't
yeah.
be forever. Like
Yeah.
there will be one people or like group of people who will try to change things and things will go back to the normal same thing.
Right. Yeah.
So it can't be fixed. Like how we say like nothing is perfect,
Yeah.
but that imperfect like makes thing what like the value of that like for example a child draws a picture, like it's not perfect, but for the father and mother that picture is like everything.
Yeah.
Because the child made it.
Yeah.
That's the same thing, like the world cannot be perfect, but the world, it is how it is, it will remain how it is, but it doesn't mean like it doesn't, world doesn't have to be perfect, it just have to be better, like from what it was yesterday.
Yeah.
I believe in that.
You know who Hitler was?
Yeah,
Good or bad person?
I would say bad, but
Yeah. You know, I'm asking you that question. You're determining what's bad because you have a basis of what's good.
exactly
So my question is, where are you determining what's good?
from the things which I have been taught from
I've been taught.
like from birth. Like
Yeah.
for example, if I live in like a racist family,
Yeah.
for me racism is pretty normal, doesn't it? Doesn't it make sense? Like if I live in a racist family,
Yeah.
racism is like, it's a normal thing, everyone does it around
Yeah.
me, it's a common thing. Why shouldn't I do it? But if I live in a liberal family,
Right.
like people that respects all race,
Yeah.
religion, culture, caste,
Yeah.
whatever, for me that's very bad, because from the point of my birth I have been taught it's a bad thing. People
Yeah.
shouldn't do is everyone should be treated equally.
Yeah. So man set the standard of what's good.
Huh?
So man ultimately set the standard of what's good and right and wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. Man set that standard.
I have a question for you.
Like you said, you were born with those beliefs, but you were born with believing that God existed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why did you like change from being a believer to
That's the thing I said. Like,
atheist or whatever you want to tag yourself?
so like place where
Because you said you believed in God until like 8th standard, and then now you don't.
Yeah. So the thing is, like in Mumbai where I used to live, so like people around me, like they were like, some of them were atheists. At first I disagreed with them. I was like,
Yep.
you are mad, you are just saying it because you don't know stuff. How can like God does not exist? Are you stupid or what? But then I started to question myself.
Yeah.
Is it really true? Does
Yeah.
that even make sense? At first it was like, no, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
If I started to question everything like that, I could question everything, and everything couldn't have an answer. Like it doesn't make sense. But with time, I
Yeah.
changed my point of view
Change your
because
point
I
of
was surrounded with that type of group.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah. So here's what we want to do. We want to give you another perspective about God that you may not have understood. All right. Let me give you an example, then I'll give you an illustration. But I appreciate y'all. You guys have been great. Let me give you an illustration. Blind man gets on the bus. This man on the bus gets up and gives his seat to the blind man. What would you conclude about that man that gave up his seat to the blind man?
I think he's a good man
He's a good man.
because he sacrificed himself.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you could have had that comfort of sitting throughout the bus ride, but he
Right.
gave up for the blind man.
But let me finish the story, and then you'll draw a better conclusion. The man that gave up his seat to the blind man was the bus driver.
Okay.
Then he's a stupid person.
He's a stupid person.
He's wicked.
He's wicked because he put everybody's life in jeopardy. See, but I only gave you part of the story, and so you drew a limited conclusion. But when I gave you more of the story, you can draw a better conclusion about this man. Well, what we want to do is give you more of the conclusion about who God is. And then you can draw a better conclusion. So the reason why you have say that God doesn't exist is because you hadn't heard the whole story about who God is. And so once I give you more of the story, it's going to help you draw a better conclusion so you can see that the God that you've probably been rejecting is a God that's always been there. So let me give you more of the story, and I'll give you opportunity to put your faith in this God that you have never been
I
able to
would
see.
like to
Yes,
point
please.
out something. For me, like it's just how my brain works. You can like tell me a story, I would listen it very carefully.
Sure.
Like, I would consider each point of your
Sure.
story. Like I would close it with mind, but at last I would still go back to the normal thing because it becomes all complex for me, and that is the easiest thing like to consider for me.
Sure.
So that's the thing.
Yeah,
I will, like,
of course.
People like to stay in their comfort zone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like if you tell me like God
Yeah.
exists, like for example, like if you teach me about Christianity, I would consider it. Let's say like
Yeah.
I should consider it. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
But then would start again the same process, like the same wheel. I will start to consider if Christianity exists. How about Hinduism? How about
Yeah.
Judaism? Like
Right.
how about different? Then my brain would like
Yeah.
it would just
Yeah.
start
Well-
to glow out. Like I
Well,
could
well,
control
well,
it.
just let us simplify it for you, and at the end you come to the conclusion. But I want to give you a perspective that you have never seen, because until I got this perspective, I was like you. I'm like, well, it doesn't make sense. But let me give you a perspective, and then then you draw the conclusion based on the perspective. That make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.